I'd like to introduce myself. I am Lumen Tamayo, and today, allow me to share with you some stories about on how I was able to hurdle my own challenges, and also I'd like to share just 3 tips on how am I able to hurdle these challenges. Bakit 3 tips lang? Usually I give 5 or 7 because it is my intention for this afternoon that it will be a more proactive discussion. Ayan, si Tita Ami ang sabi niya, she is in bed right now but joining me. Salamat, Tita Ami, and I hope you're having fun joining me and learn, and hopefully you will also learn something. Okay. As I was saying, gusto ko sana na it's going to be an open discussion, so hindi lang ako yung magsasalita dito, pero kayo din. So please, feel free to type anything in the comment section while I'm talking so we can proceed with much more free-flowing discussion. So yun ang gagawin natin ngayon because we want to learn from one another. We are here to have a discussion. We are here to learn from one another's experiences. As mothers, marami tayong mga ganyang klaseng experiences. And we want to share it with everyone. If you are watching right now, and if you're watching on replay, please go ahead and type. All right? Type it there in the comment section. Okay. So it is also my intention later that for those of you who will be able to find a solution based on what I have shared, go ahead and send me a PM. All right. So that's for later. And we can have a one-on-one conversation. So if it's okay with you, please type okay in the comment section. All right. So let's start. Now, I want to ask everyone here. So, sino sa inyo ang gustong mag-share ng isang maikling kwento? Just a short story about how are you able to brave, all right, a hurdle or a challenge, to brave or to hurdle a challenge or a family crisis. Kahit hindi lang recently, pero kahit noon pa. Come on, I wanna know who among you here would like to share. Maiksi lang, one-liner. For example, ano ba yung mga family crisis? May nagkasakit, ganyan. O kaya naman, nasunugan. O kaya naman, namatayan. So those are the kinds of family crisis that usually we are able to come out victorious and learn a lot from. So gusto ko sanang malaman, please type in the comment section. Any brave soul here who's joining me, please type it there in the comment section. All right, so while we are waiting, all right, let me share my own story. So I remember nung when I was still a new mom, syempre pag bagong nanay, usually ang concern natin is yung mga anak natin. How are we going to give the best care for them? And there was a time when I had to bring my son to the ER. Sobra akong suki nun sa ER. I bring them to a nearby hospital because every time na feeling ko nilalagnat sila, nagkakasipon, nagkakaubo, natataranta ako kasi hindi ko pa alam how to care for them, no? So, that's one of those things that I will always do. At syempre, buti na lang, may HMO si husband, hindi sa akin naging problema yung going to the ER kahit na pabalik-balik ako because I'm confident that I don't need to spend anything. All right. So again, may I ask those who are joining me, thank you for the love and thank you for the like. Anybody who'd like to share a very simple or any kind of crisis that you have gone through and was able to hurdle? Okay. Wala pa rin ako nakikita. Parang shy yung mga mothers who's joining me now. I'm sure at this time, marami na kayo na-experience bilang isang nanay. So, going back to my story. So, there was this very kind of traumatic, hindi naman traumatic, pero one of those memories about bringing my son to the ER that got stuck to me, no. There was one evening, naglalaro kami, we are having fun. My firstborn child, si Lucas, he was only 2 or 3 years old at that time. Tapos, he he was jumping on the bed and suddenly nilalaro niya yung mga kwintas ko. Syempre, bata na naaaliw siya dun sa mga bling-bling. And he bit on one of the beads. Tapos napasigaw ako syempre kasi feeling ko baka mamaya malunon niya yung bead. Tapos nagulat siya and in his amazement or takot siguro niya dun sa voice ko, he fell off the bed and nervyoso kasi yun. So sabi niya sa akin, "Mommy, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." So syempre, because I know my kids, they're very young, so natarantarban ako. And since my husband was at in the office at the time, kasi graveyard shift siya, I had to call my brother right away to bring him to the ER. And sabi ko naman so while we were in the car going to the hospital, my son was seated in the chair, at tawag doon, uh, where you car seat, yan. And he was already playing. So sabi ng brother ko, alam mo, kung meron niyang nararamdaman, hindi yan mangangalikot ng mga gamit dito. Sabi ko, hayaan mo na lang. I still want to make sure. So I want to have him check dahil nga nalaglag. Baka alam mo na, napilayan or something. So lo and behold, when we went to the ER, wala naman pala siyang anything na fracture or whatever. So we just had to go home after that. So ang dami ng beses na nagkaroon ng illnesses or simple sickness in the family. So I want to know who among you can relate with my story, especially the moms, the young moms. Meron ba kayo na experience na pareho nung sa akin na yung mga anak ninyo, you have to rush them to the ER? Please type me in the comment section. I want to know your stories, please. Shy talaga yung mga audience ko ngayon, hindi sila masyado nag-i-interact. Sayang naman. I want to know what are your experiences as well, because this is going to be a discussion. Anyway, so going back to my kwento, as I was saying kanina, so marami na nga nagkakasakit sa family namin. Siyempre, nandyan na yung nagkakasakit din yung mga elderly. So, sino sa inyo dito ang kasama yung mga nanay at tatay nyo sa bahay? Please type me in the comment section. So, I just know, if you can relate with what I'm telling you, yung mga istorya. Baka naman ako lang ang nagkikwento tapos hindi naman pala kayo nakaka-relate dun sa mga kinikwento ko. There was one instance about naman my mom, aside from my son, that she was having a diarrhea. Tapos, medyo hinang-hina siya noon. Feeling namin baka mag-collapse, so we had to rush her to a nearby hospital para matignan agad. Mabuti na lang, there was nothing serious about it. At of course, mabuti rin that we always have something set aside for these types of emergency. Kaya, the first tip that I'd like to share with everyone is for a family crisis like health crisis, as I am explaining to everybody, it is always best to be prepared. So how do I mean by being prepared? So we have learned our lessons that being prepared is very important, especially when sickness knocks on your door. And so, whenever my husband would ask me if kukuha siya ng HMO for the kids and for me, kahit na we have to share with the company expense, I would go ahead and tell him, of course, that is something that we want to have, but we never want to use. But it will come very handy if we have it. So, yon. HMO is very important. That's one way of getting prepared. And of course, it's always best to have something for your emergency expense. Dahil HMO, hindi naman nila babayaran yung gamot, di ba? Usually, yung hospitalization lang. So, if you don't have anything naka-backup, paano na mangyayari sa other needs, gamot, or sometimes, pag na-hospital, kailangan mo ng extra money kasi yung food, diba? So, yung mga ganun bagay. So, I want to know again, sana may magsagot, because I was really meaning it to be a discussion for this afternoon. I want to know who among you here would like to share what does being prepared mean to you? Just type it there in the comment section. How do you mean by being prepared? Ayan. During this time, we are all witnesses of this, no? Sickness is everywhere, COVID cases is rising, and we have heard of stories about some people getting hospitalized and spending hundreds, thousands, and even some spending a million. All right, so um, we all know that this pandemic is not going to end soon. So while we are being asked by the government to be prepared in a way to take all the precautionary measures on how to prevent, it's getting closer at home. What does it mean? Mas marami na tayong mga kakilala ngayon na nagkakaroon ng COVID. So it's really something serious, and it's always best that we are prepared if it hits home, not just in the financial side, but also being prepared means knowing how to care for one another, knowing how to handle such situations so that we can control it. Because definitely it is one of those family crises that we never want to be trapped in, but it's one of those that we'd like to hurdle. Syempre ang ating battle cry is we have to survive this pandemic. Okay? Ayan, sabi ni Tita Ami, me same experience. Sabi niya, my daughter had acid reflux. So every time she takes food which triggers acidity, many times have to go to the ER. Good thing we have HMO. Exactly. And take care of the expenses. Big help to be prepared. Of course. Thank you so much, Tita Ami, for that wonderful sharing. All right. I hope the others can also share as well. Number two. Oh, and let me just mention, one of my friends who has recently experienced COVID in their household. Hindi lang siya, yung wife niya, yung anak niya, pati yung household help nila had COVID. He said that they had to spend 50,000 pesos just for the lab works of the household help. So imagine if um, he's not prepared. Paano kung wala siyang pera? Ano na mangyayari dun sa kanyang household helper? 'Di ba? Hindi niya ito matutulungan. So, yun. Number two, tip number two, we have to maintain good relationships with our family members. Why is that very important? Why do you think it's important to maintain good relationship with our family members? Please type in the comment section why, right? So that we can also have this discussion. I think I already shared with some of you, especially sa mga posts ko, no, that my mom is a dementia patient before she passed on last 2018. It was not easy to take care of a dementia patient. Aside from being magastos, it is also very tedious. Why is that? Kasi nandyan yung kailangan mo magkaroon ng caregiver na dedicated to take care of her needs, at meron din diyang tagadala sa ospital, someone who's going to take care of health, among other things. And because we are four siblings and we all grew up na close with one another, we were able to handle this type of crisis in a manner that it's easier, no? It's easier in a sense kasi marami kaming nagtutulungan. What we did was we had a meeting, we made sure that we met as a family, kami magkakapatid, and we said that kailangan nating mag-division of labor. So one is assigned, my sister is assigned to be with my mom in the house. So sila yung magkasama. Although meron siyang dedicated caregiver, of course, my ate has to be the one to supervise everything, no, from her food, from my mom's food, to administering medication, and taking care of her hygiene and all that. While I am assigned to finding her caregiver pag nawawala, and then bringing her to the hospital, coordinating with the doctor, um, keeping her medical records para every time we will go to the hospital to visit the doctor, kompleto yon. So that's my task. And then, since my other brother, our youngest, stays in the US, hindi siya masyado nakakatulong, but he and my other brother were in charge of mostly of the finances. So it's really good that we maintain good relationships with one another, because if not, how are we going to hurdle such family crisis? I consider that as a family crisis because it's not easy to take care of a dementia patient. So I want to know at this point, who would like to share something about their own kind of family crisis. Sige nga, mag-share tayo and something similar to that, uh, para we can also talk about it, no? All right. While we're waiting for your answers, um, as I've said, it's not easy to take care of a dementia patient, but it was a lot, ang tawag doon, magaang, no? It's magaang because maraming nagtutulungan, and we were able to develop a very strong sense of family ties so that we were able to see it through. And I also believe that when my mom saw that we are already ready for her to let go of her, kasi nandun na yung aming bond with one another, that was a time that she passed on. And true enough, until this date, it's been what, 3 years since she, magti 3 years na since she passed away. Nandun pa rin. Strong family ties. We still get to see one another, except now that it's during pandemic. Syempre, we're taking caution about it. Pero nung Pasko, na medyo mababa naman ang cases, yon, nagkita-kita kami, and nung birthday ng sister ko ng Feb. Good enough that we were able to do that after the lockdown last March. Nagkita lang kami December. So, yon, it's to continue on with that kind of family ties. Alright. So, kayo naman yung tatanungin ko. What do you think is the benefit of having this kind of relationship during the time of family crisis? You think it's going to be a lot easier for you to handle it? Please type in the comment section what do you think. Okay? So, I'm still waiting. Shy talaga yung ating mga tao dito, no? Sayang naman. I'm hoping that it's going to be a discussion this afternoon. All right. So, number 3 tip. Don't give up. Okay, no matter what, don't give up. Hindi lang isang beses na magkakaroon tayo ng family crisis, hindi lang dahil dito sa pandemic na to, kahit na malampasan pa natin itong pandemic na to, it's not the only source of challenges, no? I'm sure yung mga moms like me are having also their own episode of tiredness, weariness, or even having this kind of stress, no, in handling their kids doing distance learning. So I want to know how many of you here have seen my post about my youngest son qualifying for his Quezon City Science. Please type me in the comment section. Why am I asking this? Because you see, I have a confession to make. Pangarap ko talaga na magkaroon ng anak na pumasa ng science school. I don't know why. Maybe because it has become a standard for the intellectual capacity of your child if they get to qualify in these science schools. But I have this bad experience 4 years ago when I had to let my firstborn son go through all kinds of exams, no? Philippine Science, Quezon City Science, even UPIS, and another science high school, no, public school. And I must admit, no, it was wrong for me to have forced him to go through that kasi parang na-trauma yata siya because I guess now it's much easier because wala namang exam, no? Wala namang exam na ginawa. They only asked Quezon City Science and even Philippine Science or even UP, IS for that matter, only asked parents to submit the grade 5 grades of their kids. And since wala ngang mga exam, so hindi sila kailangan to go through that. But so they get the qualification based on that, no? After which there will be an interview, no? Okay. So why am I sharing about this? Because um at this time, yan, si Tita Ami, sabi niya, congratulations. Thank you, Tita Ami. Of course, I'm a very proud mom. Pero at the other side of the spectrum, kahit na proud ako sa kanya, I'm having difficulty right now with the way that he's handling his tasks. In fact, at the moment, we are rushing some of his tasks because ayaw niyang gawin. I don't know why. Um, he was one of those students in his previous schools who wanted to be always the first to submit tasks, no? Palagi pagkabigay, submit agad. Pero ngayon, I felt like he has lost his interest or even he has lost his drive, no? Isa 'yun sa mga challenges of this pandemic, especially for the mothers. And I want to know from the mothers here who has joined me, who have kids doing distance learning, if you're experiencing the same. Please type relate in the comment section so we can talk about it, ano. It's not easy. In fact, sila talaga yung pinaka affected because aside from the different dynamics of distance learning, kids like my son who loves to be around his peers, who loves to interact, who loves to be appreciated with the other classmates. Kasi syempre, 'di ba, pag nasa school, nandiyan yung meron sila nung every quarter they're being recognized for their achievements. I guess he's missing on that part. And because he's missing on that part, now he's suddenly losing his balance and he doesn't have the drive to to perform. No, kahit na pagdating ng grades niya matataas pa rin, pero parang hindi na niya nakikita yung excitement of submitting his works. Parang siguro, I don't know, maybe what's running in his mind is, kahit naman mag-submit ako ng mauna ako, o malate ako, wala naman. Nobody is going to care about it. So, who among you here agree that this is also a family crisis? Well, I consider it a crisis because how am I going to help him get past over this feeling of getting stuck and feeling of um, getting so frustrated and disappointed with what is happening right now. And I really want to know from among you here joining me, what do you think is the best way to handle kids who are having difficulty with their distance learning? Yung mga nagiging feeling nila na hindi na sila masaya, hindi sila demotivated sila, no? Please type in your comments in the comment section so that other mothers who are joining us here can relate to this as well. All right? And so no matter what I do to hammer him to finish his task, it seems that he has lost his passion. He's lost his passion. And I am hoping that by sticking it out with him, ang sabi ko, I'm not going to give up on him. In relation to my tip, I'm not going to give up on him. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that we can submit all the tasks on time. Even if I have, because he has these two tasks, one is on PE, that he has to dance the maglalatik. Sabi ko, I will dance with you. Or he even has this project in music that, or task that he has to sing a folk song. I will sing with you. Of course, anak, I will sing with you. If that will make you feel that you are appreciated, or if that will make you do your task, I will be there with you. So that's my tip number 3, no? And I'm hoping that some of you who are joining me here can also put in the comment section what are the things that you'd like to do, or what is your definition of doing, you know, not giving up and doing whatever it takes to help your child or to overcome and to hurdle any kind of family crisis. I'd really, really appreciate if you can type it in the comment section. Okay. So now I said earlier that it is my intention to invite those who can relate to what I have said to a one-on-one meeting. And so at this point, for all the mothers out there who join me and those who are even watching on replay, um, if you think that you need some help, you're undergoing some kind of family crisis right now, and you need someone to talk to, and you think I was able to help you with the tips that I have given you, please go ahead and send me a PM, because I'd love us to have a conversation, one-on-one conversation. I am Mom Shilumen, and I'm on a mission of empowering others to take action. I'm not only a financial advisor, but I'm also a coach who has been helping other or individuals get over their limitations so that they can make actionable decisions. When we say actionable decisions, um, whatever they have decided on, they will take action. So let me end my sharing this afternoon with another story. Now, if there's any family crisis that I never want to go through, that is getting sick. Why is that? Because sickness robs you of your strength, robs you of your time, and it robs you of your momentum. Because who among you here feel that when you get sick, it's like you're stuck, helpless, no? Helpless and hopeless at some point. It will even make you blame yourself for getting sick. Why did I say this? Because at one point, I know at one point in my life, I got sick enough that I have to stay in the hospital for more than a week. Okay? While lying down on bed in the hospital, I feel so helpless and weak. I am stuck. I'm stuck and wondering, what did I do wrong? Or what's it that I did not do that made me sick? Okay. And also, we know that getting sick robs other people, even the richest man on earth, their wealth. All right. I have heard of stories, rich people entering the hospital, getting out of it very poor. All right. Because they were not able to prepare for this very unfortunate event in their lives. Because how many of you will agree with me that we cannot entirely prevent or avoid family crisis? And sicknesses is one of them. Kahit na gaano ka-healthy yung diet natin, kahit na gaano ka-healthy yung ating mga lifestyle, because sometimes the doctor just say it's family history. They blame it to the genetics, no? And if you have bad genetics, then you must know. And if you know, you better be prepared that when the sickness knocks on your door, you have something to pull out of your or somewhere to get it from, so that you don't need to beg or to be in debt or to finish off all of your savings. All right. So I hope I was able to give you the value this afternoon. It's truly my honor, and I'm deeply grateful to everyone who has joined me, kahit hindi ko alam kung sino-sino kayo. But of course, Ita Ami and Mitch, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It's truly an honor and a privilege that you have spent your Sunday afternoon with me. Again, this has been Lumen Tamayo, your mom, she Lumen, saying thank you, and I hope to see you again some other times. Malay nyo, hindi lang Saturday. Malay nyo, I'm going to do it more often, so that I can share more of stories and more tips on how we mothers should be able to be empowered to take action. So again, maraming salamat po and have a great day. Bye-bye.